Alright, today is a special day. Well, last night for me. You know, I've been with the Horsemen. I told you about that. That came on the day of the eclipse. I saw the four horsemen or whatever, and somehow it wound up coming through into my wall. And then from my wall, the Black Horseman came forward. Hey, how you doing, mommy? Came forward, and it was a long series of events that took place after that for it to make sense. It was like the horseman. I was surprised to see him, but I knew him. It was like somebody that was taunting me from I was a little kid with sleep paralysis. It took me a long time to figure him out, because as a child I remember I always was in sleep paralysis, always scared to go to sleep, always stood awake, don't want to sleep, had to sleep with the TV on, had to sleep with the lights on, until it was like somebody special, that one day I went to sleep and I was in sleep paralysis, and she was sleeping with me, and I was screaming for help, and because it's like you're awake, I could hear the TV, I could actually see her, but she can't see me. I'm just like stuck in between dimensions, trying to ask for help, like suffocating, and for some reason she just looked at me and shook me. I was like, you shook me, and was like, you all right? You all right? And I was like, oh shit, you heard me. She's like, yeah, I heard you. And I was like, oh shit, I love you. You're my oracle. You're my everything. And that became my baby mother. Shout out to her. That's been over though. That's angels come in your life for a reason, fix you, but you can't keep them. You know the story of Sodom and Gomorrah when the angels came. They wanted to fuck the angels. So we get them for a minute to help us through stepping stones in our life, but they got to go back to helping other people too. So it's all G. Now back to the story. You see, it's very important to understand that, it didn't just stop when she came into my life. Well, she helped because it was like you get people that compliment you, that is actually like, you could say, what's the word? I want to put it in a good word. It more would be like a symbol, a sigil. It's like, when you cross a certain level or a dimension or do something correct, you get something, a coin, a bracelet, a chain, the crown. Well, each symbol is symbolized by a human being in physical form that comes in your life, that comes and you give you something, a gift, or you find something on the floor. All of these is part of the ascension that you'll know when you get them. Hello, how you doing? And it's like we don't know in our unconscious self why we get these things, but we just have them. Even if you went and bought yourself something, a lot of things are what's called relics, and so we don't know what these is and its significance is. But that person, that's how it would have came down. Like I completed something on my dream journey or projection. And in the physical world, it transcended down. It could have been a bracelet that the gods put on my arm after, showing some type of valor or victory over my own insecurities. And that would have been the reward. All right, so back to the Black Horseman and the sleep paralysis. All my life, it got to the point where I started writing it down in my diary. Started like, yo, it's either going to kill me or I'm going to kill it. I can't sleep. And so after a while, it got kind of serious to where now I got post-traumatic stress from it. I was scared. I didn't, sleep was not in the program. I think I went almost a whole year without sleeping, just probably sleeping, catching cat naps here and there just because I didn't want to face it. And it was a long time ago, I remembered I was sick and I had to stay with my moms and shit. And so what made me realize what was going on, I was getting it every night in that place. And so every night it kept putting me in sleep paralysis, and I would have to like twitch till I get a finger to move, or I roll off the bed and fall on the floor. Some crazy shit that I do, and I'm stuck in it. And it's like the more I stay in sleep paralysis, the more unconscious I'm becoming, and everything is turning white. I get the prickly feeling coming all over my body. I'm getting numb. It's like I'm going someplace. It's pulling me out of me. Yo. That was crazy. So, I mean, this is going on constantly to where the post-trauma kicked in, and another split must have went in my personality, and somebody kicked in like, yo, I'm not having this shit no more. And so the first thing that started this I'm not having this shit no more came was that I caught, yo, everything happened, I'm honest, within 1/1,000,000th of a second. And within that 1/1,000,000th of a second became like 5 minutes to me after a while. So by the time now I could hear him coming, the first thing you're gonna get is you hear some type of footstep. I don't know how I'm hearing these footsteps coming. I guess it's the wood in my mother's house. I don't know. I don't know if you even got feet to walk or pressure or weight. So I can't even equate it to that. That's just my conception now and theory. Well, I'm just telling you my experience. And so now I could hear something coming, and within halfway of hearing it, my ears would ring. This is all within 1/1,000,000th of a second. But then when my ears ring, all of a sudden I'm paralyzed. And when I'm paralyzed, within a part of that, he's right over me, standing there. I could feel the presence of something, a shadow, a force that's walking around the bed, just observing me. And I'm scared. Back then I didn't want to jump out and kick his ass or fight. I wanted to cover up, hide, close my eyes, do everything but face it. And so that was going on for a while, and then it was like attacking, not saying attacking me, but I felt something very powerful. Like, yo, you can look at it like this. These star beings is so powerful. That's why the fucking stars are so far away from us. That's it. If it was any closer, man, the radiance, I'm not talking even the energy or the blazing heat of it, just the fucking radiance will put us out. It'll always knock us out. We'll just get up and keep dropping. Get up, keep dropping. Like that. Because of the energy. So when this star being come, let me tell you, that shit had me fucked up. They'll do it to you anytime, and it's not my first time experiencing a star being that put me out. You understand what I'm saying? A few of them put me out. Whoa. So now, anyways, so within that second, when he gets on in your radiance, it's like paralyzed. You go into like a state of paralysis. You know, look at it like some type of animal. If you was an animal and some snake coming to eat you, and you looked in his eyes and you froze. You can't move, and now it just crawl over to you slowly, wrap around you slowly, and stick you in his mouth and swallow you. You in there, you can't do nothing. You're still conscious till that fatal, you know, acid or bite, whatever they use to venom or whatever. So, anyways, it's like that. So now, after a few of those, things started getting more real for me. It's like now, it's like I'm being conscious and mapping him out, looking for something. An opportunity. And so when I started being able to be conscious of that 1/1,000,000th of a second, I started knowing when he was coming. I couldn't do nothing about it, but I sensed when he was coming. And now from that sensing, it went to the next level. What was the next level? I'm not having it no more. So this happened, I was down in VA at my man, sleeping in the back room on the blow-up bed and all that. Next thing you know, I fall out and I hear him coming in the room. But this time I jump out. I jump out my body. And I'm wrestling with this nigga. Me and this nigga tussling in the room. You understand? And I gotta look at him. That's why I know it's him. When I looked at his face, I didn't see nothing. I'm fighting a black shadow. And this shit got his head down with a sombrero hat like the nigga from Mortal Kombat. That's what it would be, just like, but just a dark version. But he's like a Mexican type outfit. You could tell, you understand? Like the way them Zorro ass niggas would be in black, like that. But it was the Reagan type nigga. Now, when I saw him and I saw his face, I just froze. And that's when I think he morphed into my body laying on the... No, as a matter of fact, I said that wrong. When I saw him and I looked back and I saw myself laying on the bed. That's when I froze. I was like, get the fuck out of here, because I thought I was actually up fighting him. But I was laying on the bed. So you can't say I was sleeping, because what type of sleep would you see yourself sleeping? That's not sleeping. That's something else. So anyways, when I did that, I shot back into my body, but I don't know, he disappeared, I guess, before me. So I'm figuring he either came in my body, but in reality, later on, I learned that was the lesson he was trying to teach us, or me at that time, which is how to project out your body. You're a soul. You can't die. He came to tell me that I'm immortal, a god. And this is what you could do through fear. Take that fear and turn it into anger. So that's what I did. I had got angry through post-traumatic stress. All of a sudden, everything changed. Nothing after that experience took place for maybe the next 3 years. It was just over. Sleep paralysis was very rare. Very, very rare. It was only once in a while, but I was still paranoid. I was still scared to go to sleep. And so when I got a little bit more older in years, maybe 5 years later, it started to come back again until I met a certain woman. And that was the one that could hear it. And every time I slept with her, it was like I didn't have it. So we stood together for a long time in a relationship, but not because of the fear. It's fine as hell. But anyway, now what goes next is I left all of that and now ventured out into my life and doing my own thing, and wind up now having this experience. That was the eclipse experience. So now with the eclipse experience, seeing the clouds looking like the 4 horses riding, and it just like got my attention. And this is the type of shit that I tell y'all, like looking at the TV and Poltergeist where she's looking at snow. I could show you the video because I recorded maybe an hour worth of video that day, and I called it The Prophecy, if you could make it out. Everything in there, I put it into detail, so I think I put names, what I know then, and I don't know this stuff. I don't know about no gods and the names of the African names and the Egyptian names. So I'll be out here kicking that to y'all, but I know truth. That's one thing I know, boy, is truth. So truth override all that fancy talk, a name, your description, your definition. Your soul feel what I'm saying because I'm talking to your soul. So anyways, now that this is coming to me, and I realize, yo, it's 4 horses. And I'm seeing a prince, not say a prince, a king. He has a crown on his head, sitting on a throne with a woman, sitting on a bigger throne with a bigger crown, holding a baby. I'm seeing all this, then I'm looking around, it's like a emblem, a logo, a shield. And it got, one of the horsemen now, or a chariot. Now, it's not even one of the horsemen. They by themselves. A chariot being pulled, and the horse on the front has a Bible in his hand or a book riding across the screen. I'm like, get out of here. And then on the top right, you start seeing all the demon Egyptian gods, all the black people. You saw like the almond family, the bird, and the bird will just transform because, I don't reveal much of my inner secrets, but any one of those animals you see in there, the dragon, any of them you see in the clouds, that is when I say in there, is actually traveling devices, UFO, transport, and they look like fear things so that they put people out the circle. This is an inner circle thing. If you're from the parallel, you're from the parallel that's in you. You know how to drive your UFO. You know what to do. They just have to wake you up. Your instincts is already in you. You out. Similar like when the girl from the Matrix get in the telephone booth and she disappears. That's it. So anyways, now, where was I at? Yes. Now being that you're able to understand how it works, the other side with all the Egyptian gods, all the ancient gods, you talking about from Titans, I saw Pan, I saw, just identifiable, what the fuck, I'm having a tongue twister, y'all, excuse me. Just the ones I could identify to summarize it, really. And I only know a little bit because I didn't study ancient mythology, African mythology. This all just come down on me as downloads. So anyways now, with all this taking place, The bottom line is this. I noticed something strange, that like it's a very spiritual event. I wasn't spiritual back then. I was more into the left-hand craft, not saying into the left-hand craft. I was seeing it. I'm living that world. I'm seeing motherfucking devil. At this point, I'm seeing like all the beings I'm meeting. Yo, when this journey started, let me give you an example first so you could get a quick understanding. When this journey first started, I first met the reptilians, the Dracos. Then after that, I started, Greys and Dracos came together. Then I start meeting like the niggas who look like the Assyrians, the bearded, long-haired people. Those was in the heaven kingdom. Heaven is like that. And I saw angels. They saved me from the, I guess the demons within myself, which would have been the reptilians and the draconian shit. It was like I had dark beings. I could see they're dark because they was hiding. But then when fucking with the clouds and fucking with heaven and all this other shit, some angels came and fought their asses, kept dying, but they kept fighting until all of them was gone. Now, when that happened, I was cleansed to a certain point. I saw this heaven shit for a while, and it was like an orb flew me over it. It's a city, but you can't go in it if you're not cleansed, or I don't know, for that time, if just let me get an overview of it. And I was just in awe. Like, now, I'm like not biblical, I'm not religious. I study the Bible shit to prove shit wrong like any black person do. Your Ashwa's crazy type of thing. But I now am like, wait a minute. If this is in the clouds, this can't be made up. The clouds is trying to tell me something. The ancestors is there. These are spirits. So hold on, let me rethink this. So I record it. So let me see and go study this and see what this is, because I've been fucking studying the sun for almost 2 years now. I graduated from the sun. I could break the sun down like if it was my motherfucking finger and tell you everything about it, what it produces, what it do. And so when I did that, being nosy and too much, they can't let go of me. They can't let me go straight up and down. We know that. I know too much. And I'm a part of that now. So they have to hold on and keep a close, very tight grip on me. So anyways, on that note now, all right, to give you an example of how fucking nosy I am, I recorded this beach, went home for some reason, yes, because I thought I heard something in it, and then took my, production skills, because I'm a producer, and filtered out the water so much that I hear people talking in the water. And who I heard talking in the water is the voice that I be fucking with too. So I'm not saying like I just do regular shit. I'm a irregular nigga anyway. I'm bugged out. So I'm just letting you get an idea of how you become too nosy or too curious. That shit could backfire on you too. So be careful fucking with me. That's all I'm gonna tell you. But anyway, not in a bad way. Let me don't say that, because you know what? I'm gonna get this shit straight too, because I do the Kundalini activation. This don't have no influence on it, because I'm a very godly person. Everything I do is to help people. It don't work. I don't do it. It don't work through me. It work through the gods and God. It's sympathy. If I have sympathy and empathy for you, the energy comes through me and go to you. So I can't do nothing to anybody, and I'm not a bad person. That's not my style. So I just want you to understand, when I'm telling you the experiences, it's to put you on, to update you on all your beliefs, all your stuff, so you could get an idea of shit that is going on in this world that we probably haven't experienced and we probably never will. So if somebody put it on record, then y'all know it's real. I'm putting it on record. Ain't no book I read telling me this stuff. I'm writing my book on it. So I want you to understand that. All right. So now, after seeing these levels, and you cleanse myself enough that somehow those angels I told you about, hello, how you doing? They came and cleansed me out. I was able eventually to go up to that level, and I saw for myself. I seen fucking just to keep you on point. This is still about the Black Horseman and how it happened. So I'm seeing now different scenes, biblical scenes. Last Supper scenes. Scenes of them building like the carpenters and all that. I'm seeing Jerusalem high up like I'm flying over mountains. You know, it's never was in the physical world. It's in the astral world. They just told it to you in the physical because that's what they saw. But it's filled up with so much parables. They put it towards astral theology. They put it towards your biophysiology. It's like so much ways to hide it. Yes, hide it. All they're trying to do is hide God. They even put it in Satanism. They put it in devilism. It's all one. There's only one. That's what it is. So I just want you to understand that so you don't take my teachings and be like, oh, he's some type of devil worshiper. No, I'm just a truther. A real truther that is experienced, like Enoch went to see the luminaries, sponsored by your Most High. Always behind me, look in the clouds, you'll see his symbols, the orbs, his face, my forehead. Just look for the big forehead, you'll see. Anyways, back to this now. So, in going up and you get to see the heavenly kingdom, you get to see little scenes play out that actually took place. None of the stuff like how they say it. None of the colors and different races like they say it. None of that stuff. You can't see none of that. It's angelic beings. This is their story. The same shit that's in the Gnostic Bible. They tell you about, they don't tell the story like human beings and all that stuff. They always got it in the Gnostic Bible. Human beings is fucked up, fix your ways. But they got stories about angels that came together. It was a whole bunch of spirits that made man. And it was a woman that masturbated behind her husband back and did it. And then when he found out, he eventually gave that man the power, Adam. And so it was like everything that part is saying could be verified in just astral traveling, going into the Akashic records. But a lot of us don't know what that is. And so until you start meditating, hello, how you doing? None of this is going to make sense to you. A lot of biblical stuff is not going to make sense to you. A lot of Egyptian stuff is not going to make sense to you. A lot of occult information is useless to you. Esoteric information is useless to you. You want exoteric, fake information, fantasy, fictional books, your 50 Shades of Grey, which is the exoteric story of how the astral project and leave your body. Kinesthesia is Anastasia. He punishes her and make her have a post-traumatic stress event. That's what it's about. So it's all about astral projecting. Every movie is about that. I Am Legend, you see him alone, that's the same thing. The mannequins is the dead. Yes, like I was saying, I Am Legend, all of the Will Smith movies like that. What about the one with him and his son, that they go out into the planet and they're the only one there, hey? And you see, all of those are symbolic of this journey that I'm telling you about, that we all have to take. You see, his son is his father's his higher self, and he's the young boy. It's the same thing with Star Wars, with Yoda, and every movie. I just don't watch TV for the past, you could say damn near 5 years, but you know, y'all could tell me what's going on, or tell me what to go watch, and I'll check it out. The reason I don't keep up, because it programs you. You get more back into this reality. I'm fresh out of this reality, so I have to stay out long enough for me to understand the spiritual world, because them two is like two different laws in physics. And so for you to understand one, you have to embellish yourself in something new, because you've been doing something old. And if you get back to something old, it might become habitual and fuck you up. All right, so anyways, that's why I don't watch the TV, but I know what's going on pretty much. You know, it tells you everything. You understand everything on a general basis, not in no detail like this person got shot, this person got killed, but you will understand. You know, this is going to be continued because it's getting long. It's 23 minutes. Hold on.